everybody? Sick this year again to talk to you about what I bought and what I watched today. And today, headed out to my local Goodwill, my local Pathmark grocery store, and received one title in the mail. So let's take a look at everything I got. The first title I picked up today from my local Goodwill for only $1.97 was Wake Up Screaming, a Vans Warped Tour documentary. Now, the Vans Warped Tour is a concert that I used to go to every single year. I started going on the first year, and up until about 2 or 3 years ago is when I first stopped going to the Vans Warped Tour. The reason being is because I just don't appreciate the bands that play anymore. A lot of bands that I'm just not into. Don't get me wrong, some classics like Bouncing Souls, Less Than Jake, NoFX, they still do tend to play, but when 95% of who's playing I don't really care about, I'm just not going to go to the concert anymore. However, I still am very much interested in seeing a behind-the-scenes look at the actual Vans Warped Tour. That sounds great, and I can't wait to check this out. Then I headed out to my local Pathmark grocery store, where for only $5 I picked up Bank Shot on DVD. Simply grabbing this to replace my VHS copy. However, I've yet to watch my VHS copy, so now that I have it on DVD, I'm definitely going to check it out. And the last tale I got today came in the mail from Best Buy, and that was Supernatural Season 4. As I mentioned on my Black Friday Bought and Watch video, I, for whatever reason, forgot to pick this up. I guess just in the hustle and bustle of things, I just got confused and forgot to grab this. I do already own Seasons 1 through 3, and on Black Friday I picked up Seasons 5 through 7. So now that I finally have Season 4, I can sit down and catch up on this great series. So that's it for what I bought today, so now it's what I watched. And today I checked out The Polar Express. This is definitely something I want to sit down and watch again because I had not seen this since it first came out. When this was first released to DVD, I picked it up, watched it, I remember really enjoying it, but I hadn't watched it since, and I was starting to forget what the movie was actually about, so I definitely want to sit down, pop it in, and check it out. And it was just as great as I remember, full of great fantasy, really, really fun, a great family-friendly movie, all about some kids who stopped believing in the magic of Christmas, stopped believing in Santa Claus, stopped really just believing in Christmas altogether. The Polar Express comes, picks them up, takes them to the North Pole to meet Santa so they can realize that, again, seeing is believing. They talk about that a lot. They mention that a lot, actually, in this movie. And they take them to see Santa Claus so they still believe that Santa Claus still exists and they will still believe in the magic of Christmas. And it's a lot of fun just watching their journey from their homes all the way to the North Pole, all the craziness they get themselves into, which is maybe the only problem I have with this. I enjoy the fact that they do get themselves into a bunch of weird situations because it's what makes the movie fun. But at the same time, you're asking yourself, why is this kid, getting up on top of a train? This train's barreling down the tracks, and this kid's going to get up on top of a snowy train. It's not going to happen. And it kind of takes away from the idea of this train's as, great fantasy sort of train. It's all, full of whimsy and fantasy, and it's crazy and very surreal. It sort of takes away from that a little bit for me because it makes the kids look like they're the same thing. It makes the kids look like they just live in this world of, make-believe and fantasy, because no kid would really, do things like get up on top of a train. It's just not gonna happen. So I did think that took away a little bit from the train itself. I kind of wish the kids would have been a bit more normal, but the train would have been, itself with crazy and whimsy and just full of fantasy. That would have been a little bit better, I thought. But regardless, it really does make for a fun movie when the kids get themselves in the crazy situations and have to get themselves out of it. So really, really fun movie that I would definitely recommend. Funny thing about this, though, is after watching this again, I remember when it first came out, the CGI animation in this, everybody was talking about it, how real it looked. It looked like real people, we all thought. But watching it nowadays and comparing it to newer CGI animated films, it does look dated. I just found that kind of funny that, everybody was talking about how great the CGI animation in this was, which it is great. It is phenomenal. I absolutely loved it. But it does look a bit dated compared to, again, CGI animated movies of now. But I guarantee you in 5 years from now, we'll be looking at things like Avatar and going, wow, look how dated that looks. I guarantee it. CGI animation every few years just takes a huge leap in looking more and more realistic. So that is one of the downfalls of this. It does look a little bit dated, so if you're going into this expecting the great realistic CGI animation that you remember watching when you first checked this one out, you might actually be a little disappointed in the fact that, yeah, it does look a little dated. But nevertheless, it's still great animation. If you are a fan of CGI animated movies, you're definitely going to pick this up and check it out because it's really, really well animated. and it's just a really fun story. Now, I never actually read the book when I was a kid. In fact, I didn't even know this movie was based off a book until the movie actually came out. I never grew up on the book, and I remember a bunch of my friends being really excited when this came out because they had all read the book and they grew up on it and they really wanted to see the movie. But like I said, I didn't grow up on the book, I've never read the book, so how much it differs from the book, I have no idea. But regardless, it is a lot of fun, and I highly recommend checking out The Polar Express. So that's it for what I bought and what I watched today. Definitely excited about the 3 titles I got today. Can't wait to sit down and watch all those. And also, watching The Polar Express, very happy that I decided to sit down again and check it out, since it had been a few years since I watched it. I loved it. It was a great Christmas movie, and I would definitely recommend everybody check it out. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to see what I bought when I watch tomorrow. See ya.